Welcome to the Sourcing Certifications Question of the Week. My name is David Galley, and in this feature, I answer real questions about sourcing from our audience. This week's question comes from Best Email Finding Tools, who asks, I posted in a Facebook group the other day asking about tools for finding candidate emails and phone numbers and got a lot of recommendations. My question is, with so many tools, where do I even begin figuring out which one is best? Any tips on that? Which ones are you using? Great questions, Beth. To get a sense of just how big a challenge reviewing all the tools out there could be, let's take a look at Dean DaCosta's email tools list from September 2018. There's almost 200 tools on this list. And to give you a taste of what life would be like if you installed even a fraction of them, here's what my screen looked like with just 20 of those tools installed. So, how do you go about figuring out which ones are right for you? Unfortunately, there's no easy answer to that question. There are many factors to consider, and what works for one person may not work for everyone else. That said, there are some guidelines I'd like to share with you for evaluating tools based on what we currently know about the market. The best hard data we have to go on right now comes from a study published this January by Untitled Chapter. Jan studied 22 Chrome browser extensions for finding contact details based on LinkedIn profiles. I've linked to both the study and the underlying data here. I'd like to walk through some of that data with you now and discuss how you can use this information to help inform your own decisions. Let's dive in. Here's the summary data from Jan's study. As you can see, Jan shared the total number of private emails, company emails, and phone numbers found by each tool. A cursory review of the data might lead us to think that HireTool, Precontact, and Signal Hire are the best tools on this list. However, by adding some additional information to this table, we can help form a more complete picture, which is what I've done here. I've added two columns to the table: the total number of current contact details found, and the total number of people we can directly contact based on the tool. I've also compared this list of tools to one generated by the Chrome extension Nefarious LinkedIn. LinkedIn uses a series of techniques to attempt to determine which Chrome extensions you have installed every time you visit the site. Nefarious LinkedIn generates a list of the extensions LinkedIn is scanning for. I call this the naughty list. There's almost 90 extensions on it right now. If you regularly use extensions on this list while visiting LinkedIn, you run the risk of having LinkedIn temporarily lock your account, even if you're a paying user. And it's important to consider that risk as part of our overall evaluation. Let's take a look at which extensions had the best performance in light of these additional criteria. I've ranked the tools according to 3 different criteria and selected the top 5 tools based on each ranking. First, I've ranked them by the total number of records produced. Next, I've ranked them based on the total number of people you could reach out to immediately upon using the tool. Because the phone numbers provided are not verified, for this ranking, we're considering how many people we can immediately send an email to. And finally, the tools are ranked by how many people they were able to find personal, not work, email addresses for. To make this evaluation a little bit simpler, I've converted those numbers into percentages. When considering the total number of possible records, Swordfish was the clear leader. If we look by the total number of people directly contactable, LeadIQ and RocketReach outperformed significantly. This is in large part due to their superior performance in surfacing work emails. Of course, for some recruiters, personal emails are the only way to go. As a result, I've included a ranking based on only that criterion, where we can see that HireTool is the top performer. Another key consideration is pricing. Rather than consider pricing in terms of monthly cost, I prefer to consider it in terms of the amount of data generated. If you're looking for the best free plan, Snowvio is probably your best bet. It does not produce any personal emails, but produces a large number of easily actionable work contacts, and its per credit pricing is some of the lowest on the list. Now we have an idea of how the top tools perform and what they cost. But before we make a final decision, I'd like to introduce a few more criteria it's important for you to consider. You should also consider workflow. The more seamlessly a tool fits into your daily work, the better it's going to be for you, and that may mean a slightly more expensive tool, or even one that produces slightly fewer results, is ultimately the better choice. Finally, consider what else you're paying for. Many of the tools we've seen and discussed so far provide additional features on top of finding contact information. These range from being a light CRM tool like LeadIQ, to being a drip marketing campaign tool like Snove.io, to being an all-in-one recruiting tool solution like HireTool. The right tool for you will ultimately be the one that fits best into your work at a reasonable price point for what you get, that produces enough of the right type of contact details. Which leads us to your final question, Beth. Which of these tools am I using? My primary criterion is ease of use, followed by pricing, followed by within reason, accuracy, and total amount of data produced. Tool number 1 is actually Nymeria. You may recall that one from Jan's list. While it doesn't produce results for quite as many profiles, every time it does produce a result, I am guaranteed that this result is verifiable against the LinkedIn account or GitHub account in question. So here's Nymeria working over a LinkedIn profile, and that's it. It does one thing, and it does it really well, and that's what I like in a tool. Here's a profile where Nymeria doesn't produce a result. As you can see, it simply says no email found, which presents me an opportunity to show you my other favorite tool, the Social List Contact Finder, which can surface contact details based either on a social profile URL or a combination of the first name, last name, and either of the company name or company email domain. While being able to look up contact information based on a LinkedIn profile is great, we've been doing a lot of Facebook sourcing recently, so having a tool that can work there as well is really useful. And here's some of the information I use to evaluate and select these two tools. And here's some of the additional information I use to evaluate and select these tools. Nymeria and Social List. As a result of their ease of use, price points, and functionality, these become my top 2 choices. Of course, depending on the project, I may use a range of other tools and even totally different research techniques like Google searches to help find the information I need. But these are the 2 I use every day. Hope that helps, Beth. And that's all for this week. If you'd like your question featured in a future episode, please comment on this video or email your question to help@sourcingcertification.com. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Take care, and see you next time.